Okay, so that is the next section in your book chapter. It is section number 12.3, and the title is change of parameter and arc length. So I'll first take up the arc length portion, and then we'll see the change of parameter. Okay. So arc length, if you recall from your previous syllabus which we have done, if you have a parametric representation of a curve, okay, so we did arc length for normal Cartesian representation, and we also did it for the parametric representation in the integration chapter. So we are going to use the same notation here as well. So if you have a vector valued function, then firstly we define a smooth function. Okay, so we say it is smooth. So again, if you recall, we had used the same concept when we were trying to find the formula for arc length. So we required that r dash t should be continuous, or f dash should be continuous. So that is the same requirement here. So for a vector valued function, how do we define continuity, or how do we define the smoothness part? So if we know that this is some vector valued function which is such that the first derivative is continuous and it is not zero for any allowable value of t. So if this happens, that the first derivative is continuous and it is not zero, then we would say that rt is a smooth function. So this is a requirement which is to be there, because we want to find a certain integral, and there we'll be using this particular condition, that this is smooth. Okay. So smooth will geometrically mean that there are no abrupt changes in the direction. So when you try to sketch the curve, you will see that abruptly it does not change its direction as t increases. Okay, so as you increase values of t, you may have a smooth variation in the shape of the curve. Okay, with t. So this is the first example. Okay, can somebody tell me firstly what is the derivative r dash t? What will be r dash t in this case? Yes, what is r dash t?
3t square I.
3t square. The I component will be derivative of the I component. So 3t square. Then j component will be derivative of j component. So it will be 3t square minus 2, sorry, 6t minus 2. And the last one will be derivative of t square, which will be 2t. So I hope this is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So what can you say about the continuity part? Can you say this r dash is continuous?
Yes.
Yes, so this is continuous because its components, if you see, they are all polynomial expressions and they are defined for all values of t. So this function is going to be continuous, and we can also check the second condition, that it is not identically zero. So not a zero vector basically. So there is no value of t for which simultaneously both x, y, and z components become zero. So you can also check this, that you take any different values of t, you will find that one of them is at least non-zero. So simultaneously all three components can never become zero for any value of t. So these two conditions are valid, that r dash is continuous and r dash t is not zero for any value of t, and hence we can say that this is a smooth function. Okay, so this is how you check for smooth functions, and only for such functions we can use that particular expression of integral to calculate the arc length. Okay, so that is why we need to check the smoothness first. So I have just sketched some portion of this curve. Okay. So I have tried to sketch it. It is not a complete sketch. I mean, your curve will go on infinitely depending on values of t. You can keep increasing and you will get the curve. So I have drawn some portion of it. So you can see that there is a smooth behavior. If I show you the 3D part, you can see that this change is not abrupt, although it looks here because of the width is not visible, so that is why. But otherwise, this is a smooth curve. Okay. Is this example fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Next, I'll take up another example where it is not smooth. So if you can see the derivative part, the first term, differentiate using product rule. So derivative of first into second as it is, then plus first as it is into derivative of e to the power minus t, which is minus of e to the power minus t. So this is the derivative of the x component. Then for the y component, you have 2t minus 2 as the derivative, and for this component, you have minus of pi sine pi t. So that's the derivative function for this particular RT. And you can also see that this is continuous because it is defined for all values of t. Each of the components is defined, and they are polynomial expressions for first two and trigonometric for this third one. So obviously they are well defined and continuous as well. Okay, so we will then check the second condition. Second condition says r dash t should not be 0. Now, can you find any t for which all three components become 0 simultaneously, or is there no such t?
Number
1.
T is equal to
Okay, so for t equals to 1, you can see this is also 0, the second component is also 0, and the third component is 0. So we cannot say that this is smooth. And again, I have taken a small portion of the graph. So you can see that at this point, this would be the origin point or near the origin. You would see when you take t equals to 1. So at that point, there is a sharp change in the behavior. So you would get situations like a cusp or a node. Okay, so if you remember a cusp and a node in the curve sketching part when we did vertical tangents, that part when we did, we had discussed about points which can be cusps or nodes. So this situation is when you are getting cusps and nodes, and when this happens, then you cannot possibly find the arc length using the given formula, the one which we had used in the integration chapter also. Okay, so is this example fine? You can see there are other solved examples also in the book. I have taken these from the exercise. You can check the solved ones also. They are very much similar. Okay, so then we move on to the definition of the arc length. So if this is your uh, vector equation of the curve RT in 2 dimension, if you have your curve, then you have this vector equation, or if you have it in 3 dimension, this is the equation. Then these are the two derivatives, dr by dt or r dash t is given by this expression. So this you already know. Then norm of dr by dt, if you calculate r dash t, norm of that, then it is root of first component square plus the second component square. And similarly for the 3 dimensional curve, you can also find the norm of r dash t. And the theorem or the result, main result is if C is a graph in 2 space or 3 space of a smooth vector valued function RT. So remember, we cannot use this formula for functions that are not smooth. So we only have to take smooth vector valued functions. Then its arc length is given by. So can anyone recall and tell what is the formula in terms of integration of arc length? Does anybody remember formula for arc length?
ma'am, root of
Root of
1 f dash square.
when it is in terms of the parameter t, then how do you write it?
integral a to b in under root dx by dt whole square plus dy by dt whole square.
Okay, so if it is in 2 space, it is this particular expression inside the integral, and if it is in 3 space, it is this expression, and then you take the definite integral from a to b.
A to
So
B.
yes, thank you. So you integrate the expression which is written here with respect to t and then apply the limits. So the arc length can also be written in a compact form like this. It is norm of dr by dt, because norm of dr by dt is nothing but the same expression. And then you integrate with respect to t, where t varies from a to b. So that will be mentioned in the question, that you find the arc length from t equals to this value, and then tell what the arc length is. So that is how you are going to find the arc length. So you can use this expression, or you can also use the norm expression. Both are the same. Okay, so here is an example. Okay, in such cases, what does this parameter t denote in the usual cases? Like when we make a circle in the parametric representation, what does t mean? Or theta, whatever you use, what does it mean? What does it represent?
Theta.
Theta represents what?
Angle.
Angle, the angle of inclination. So if you have some position vector or some point on your curve, say for example, if I take a circle, okay, and I take any point on the circle and I want to write its coordinates in terms of the parameter t or theta, whatever I'm using. So if you take the vector from the origin to this point, then the angle of inclination with the positive direction of x-axis, this is your theta or the parameter t. Okay, so that is what t represents in case of a circle. And in general, for any curves, you say that whenever you are positioned at any particular point P, corresponding to which the position vector is RT, then this T is basically telling you the time. So say for example at T equals to 0 you are here, then when T is 1 you are here, say for example, then when T is 2 you are at some other point. So that means your T is representing the time. So in most of the cases our parameter is going to represent either the time or some kind of an angle, okay, or it could be some other parameter also, but mostly we use these as the parameters. So obviously this has nothing to do with the arc length part, but further when we do the parameterization you will see how we are going to change the parameter. Okay, so I'll move to the question now. So you have to find the arc length of this parametrically defined function, or you can say a vector valued function in 3 space, and t is given to be lying between 0 to pi. So in between 0 to pi, if your t varies, then what is the arc length of that particular curve? Okay, so just I'll give you 2-3 minutes, quickly do this, then I'll discuss the answer. Sudhanshu, I would like you to answer this question. I don't think the network is proper. Is anyone able to hear? I don't know if Sudhanshu is speaking something or not.
I did that also.
Okay, then maybe yes. Okay, Nivedita, yes.
Ma'am, first we find R dash.
Okay. Or you can find dx by dt, dy by dt, dz by dt
Yeah,
also.
ma'am. And
Separate.
then under root whole square. Uh, dx by dt square plus dy by dt plus dx by dt.
Okay, so did you get it as 5?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the arc length? What is the final answer?
5 pi.
5 pi. Because when you integrate 5 with respect to t, you get 5t, and then you apply the limits from 0 to 5, sorry, 0 to pi, so you get 5 pi as the answer. So that is the arc length for this parametric curve from 0 to pi. Okay, so it is the same process as we had done in the integration chapter. The only thing is now you are viewing the curve as a vector valued function, okay, rather than viewing it as a parametric form. So it is just a different way of viewing the same function. Okay, so it is the same curve, but now you are viewing it as a vector function. Okay. Okay, now as I said that the usual parameter which we use is either some kind of an angle or we take it as t. So in questions, in some questions you would find say do this when t is equal to 0 or 1 or half or something like that. So it is usually the time parameter. The parameter is time. And in some questions you would find expressions like when t is equal to pi by 2, then what happens, or when t is equal to 2 pi, then what happens. So there your t is some kind of an angle. Now we would change our parameter from whatever t is given to the arc length. Okay, so we will use another variable for arc length, and we will then convert or change the parameter from t to the arc length, which the symbol which we use is s. Okay, so that is what we are going to see, how to change the parameter for the same curve. So curve remains the same. Only thing is now you will have to figure out how to locate a certain point. So on the curve, now your specific points or any point on the curve will be now given in terms of the arc length and not in terms of some angle. Okay, so any point you will get if you know what is the arc length from a specific point. Now, obviously, when you have to find the length, you should have two endpoints, that between this and this, what is the arc length. So you should have some starting point or the reference point and that given point. So in between those 2 points, if you know what is the arc length, then you can find the coordinates of that particular point. So we will study the process, or we'll see how do we write now the vector valued function in terms of the arc length as a parameter and not in terms of the usual t or the other t which we have been using. Okay, so for that we'll first see how to use arc length, then we'll see that how to change the parameter. So suppose we have a curve like this, C. Now the first thing is we start or we select a reference point. Okay, so we select a point where we say that okay, at this point your arc length has value 0. Okay, you obviously have to calculate length between 2 points, so you have to start from a particular point. So let that point be somewhere here. So this is something which the person can select on his own, unless given in the question you can just select it on your own wherever you want your reference point. And then you also have to choose a direction. So starting from the reference point, you have to choose a direction along the curve to be positive direction, and you choose a direction to be the negative direction. So this is similar to, suppose if I just stretch this curve make it a linear curve. Okay, so just imagine that this is like a thread, and if you pull the thread, you will get a straight line, and this will resemble something like your number line, the real number line, where you have a marking for 0, and then when you move in one particular direction, your numbers keep on increasing, and when you move in the reverse direction, your numbers keep on decreasing. So you can just imagine that this is like your real line. Okay, when you stretch it or you expand it, you get something which is similar to that. So on this curve now, if I have to locate for any point P, okay, so if P is any point that, suppose I just place it here somewhere. Now I will get to know the coordinates of this point P when I graph this in my coordinate system. When I make this in my coordinate system, I can find the coordinates of point P once I know what is the arc length or the distance along the curve from the reference point to this point P. And also I should know the direction. So if I know that from the reference point to this point, my arc length S is, say here, it looks something like, say 2.7. Okay, so if I know the arc length, then using the expression of the vector valued function, I can find the coordinates of P. So now my coordinates of P will be in terms of this particular parameter instead of the usual parameter T, which is usually denoting time or angle in some cases. So you know when it is denoting an angle. So if P is a point, then S should be given to you, and then you can find the coordinates of the point, where S is the arc length along C from the reference point to the point P. So from the reference point to the point P, whatever is the arc length, that is the value of S. S is positive if you are moving in the positive direction from the reference point, and S will be negative if you are moving in the negative direction. So this is the meaning of using arc length as a parameter. Okay. So for using arc length as a parameter, what you have to do is firstly fix a reference point on your curve and then fix directions. So there will be two directions on your curve along which you can move, either on one side of the reference point or on the other side. So you decide on your own which one you want to keep as positive and the other one will be negative. So now using this arc length, which is the length along the curve from the reference point to that point P, you can find coordinates of P. So next task or the next thing which we'll see is how to express X, Y and Z coordinates. Okay, what is X in terms of S? How do we find that? What is Y in terms of S? And what is Z in terms of S? So how to find the representation of X, Y, Z in terms of this new parameter S, where what is S? S is nothing but the arc length from the reference point to that point. Okay. Is there any doubt anyone has in this particular topic till here? Just have a look at this, read through this once, and let me know if you are not able to understand anything. Because this is the basic concept behind taking arc length as the parameter. Next, what we'll be doing is questions based on that. So then I'll not come back to the basic concept part. Okay, in the exam also you will not get this basic concept part being asked. You will directly get a question where you have to find the components in terms of arc length. Okay, the parameter S. Anyone? Anything which is not clear? Okay. Now, okay, so this is just what I had just said, that in two space the coordinates of the point P will be given by xs and ys. So that means your x coordinate is going to be in terms of s, and similarly your y coordinate is going to be in terms of s. And in three space they are xs, ys and zs. So therefore, the curve C will be given by these parametric representations, and this is called the arc length parameterization of the curve. So when you change your parameter from T to S, where S is the arc length, then you call this particular parametric representation as the arc length parameterization of the curve. So now firstly, we will see the relationship, how to find T, or how to replace this T parameter with S. So for that, suppose we have again a vector valued function RT, and let RT not be any point. Now this is the reference point which we'll be using. So S is the arc length parameter having RT naught as the reference point. So now on my curve, I will use RT naught as my reference point, and for any given point, S will be my arc length from that particular point to the reference point to that particular point. Okay, so from T equals to T naught to T equals to T, whatever is the length of the arc, that is going to be the relation between S and T. So that is going to give me that relation. And so I'm going to integrate the arc length formula from T naught to T. Now here, in place of T, U has been used, or you can use some other variable, because we already have this T here. So just to avoid the confusion, we are taking some other variable here. So instead of T, I've taken U. But it is the same formula, norm of dr by dt, integration of that with respect to T. From now, when we calculate the arc length, we have specific values of T. Here, the lower limit is the reference point, the upper limit is your general T, so that you get the relation between S and T, and then using that relation excuse me. Okay. Okay, so using this relation between S and T, we will try to replace T in terms of S. Okay. So this is the graph. So I have the reference point. This is my reference point. This corresponds to T equals to T naught. This is any point P whose coordinates I will now express in terms of S. So the integration will be from T naught to this particular, this T whatever. So this is any general point which I have. And if I decide to go along the curve, so here I decide to give the positive direction in the direction of the curve. Curve is moving in this direction, and I want my S to be along the same direction. So my direction of the increase of the parameter S will be here like this. and decreasing values will be on the other side. Okay, so it depends on which direction I want my S to be increasing and in which direction I want my S to be decreasing. So accordingly, I can assign the directions. Now, does somebody remember how do we define the direction for the curve? See this arrow which is being put. How do you find the orientation or direction of the curve C?
Ma'am, we divide the C by its norm.
Divide C by its norm. Anyone else can just tell, like, how do we decide this arrow, that whether C has an orientation in this direction or in the other direction? How do we decide that? Orientation of a curve. Can I say this curve has an orientation?
Triangle law of a vector.
Triangle law. Okay, how does triangle law tell us the direction of orientation of the curve C? See, I think you have forgotten, I had mentioned it, that the point on your graph, on your curve C, when you take increasing values of t, so first suppose you take t as 0, you will get some point on your curve C. Then you take t as say 1, you will get another point. Then you take t as say 2, you will get a third point. So if you see in which direction that point is moving, so if my t0 is giving me this point, then t1 is giving me this point. Okay, and if you want, you can find another t equals to 2 is giving me a point here. So I know that the increase in t is resulting in moving in this direction. So when I'm increasing t along the curve, I am moving in this direction. So that is why this arrow is being used as the direction of the curve. Okay, so direction or orientation of any vector valued function is in the direction of increasing values of t. So as my t increases, whether my point P is moving like this or whether my point is moving in the other way, accordingly I will put this arrow. Okay, is this clear? Do you remember this? I mean, I did discuss it. I don't know if you listen carefully, then you might have registered this point. So when we define orientation of C or direction of C, it is basically that direction in which my point is moving when T is increasing. Okay, so if increasing values of T gives me points moving in this direction, I would say this is the orientation. And otherwise, I will say the orientation is in the other direction. So for the parameterization, or when we decide the direction for S, you will see in the questions it is given that S has the same orientation as the curve, or S has the same direction as the curve. So that means S is taking positive values when I'm moving in the same direction as my curve is oriented, and my S will take negative values when I move in the other direction. So if this is my reference point, this point corresponds to S equals to 0. And then when I move in the direction of the curve, my values of S are going to increase. So for example, say I have S equals to 1 here, S equals to 2 for this point, and so on. And in the other direction, when I move, I will get values of S to be negative. So negative value means that I have my arc length as 1, but I am moving in the opposite direction to the direction of my parameter. Okay, so this is the meaning of -1. Doesn't mean that your arc length is negative. Arc length is a length, so obviously it cannot be negative. But -1 means that you are moving in the other direction, or the opposite direction of the curve in case your S is behaving in the same. Okay, so I'll just go back to the diagram. So in this diagram also you can see that taking S minus 1 doesn't mean that your length is minus 1. Length is 1 unit, but you are moving in the opposite direction. Okay, so you decide on your own which is the direction for positive S, positive values of S, and the other will automatically become negative. Okay, so okay, so here any doubts anyone has? So this is the formula to get the value or the expression of S in terms of T. Okay, so S in terms of T will be generated when you do this integration and you will get the answer. It will be obviously in terms of T because when you integrate and then when you apply the limits, you will have this T coming into picture. Okay, so you will apply the upper limit. So this T will come into picture and so you will get this expression in terms of T. Okay, so I'll then take an example. Now here your curve is a straight line. Okay, so you have done questions on sketching, or if you remember how straight line looks in 3D in the parametric form. So this is the equation of a straight line. You have all linear expressions, okay, in terms of t, and you have to give a parametric representation, arc length parameterization. So that means you have to now write this x in terms of s, y in terms of s, and z in terms of s. Instead of using t, now you have to use s as your parameter, and the direction of the parameter is the same as the given line. So line will have a certain orientation and we are taking s to be having the same direction. And reference point is this. So these are the coordinates of the reference point. So for example, if this is your line, then this is your reference point. And if when you take increasing values of t, your points are moving in this direction, then s also has the same direction. Okay, so this is my s equals to 0, then my s equals to 1 will be say somewhere here, s2 will be say here, and on the other side I'll have -1, -2 and so on. Okay, so this point is your reference point or starting point, and then every point on the line you are going to represent in terms of s, the coordinates of the point, rather than representing in terms of t. Okay, so this is what you have to do. So for that, as I have just given you the theorem, that that particular expression is going to give you the relation between s and t. Okay, so can somebody tell me what will this integral be in this particular case? Okay, so this integral is derivative or norm of dr by du. With respect to u, you are integrating from t naught to t. So we also have to find what is t naught, figure out what is t naught, and then we also have to find this particular norm, which is what is that particular norm for this question? Yes, who will tell? Just raise your hand once you have done it.
Ma'am, norm of dr by dt is 3.
Norm of dr by dt is 3. Okay. Anyone else has been able to do this? Akash, have you done it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is norm of dr by dt or dr by du if you are using u?
Ma'am, norm of dr by dt is 3.
So how did you calculate that?
Ma'am, first I find dx by dt is 1, dy
1.
by dt. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. dy
dy
by
by dt is -2.
okay, and
and dz by dt is 2.
Okay.
And
Then
then norm of dr by dt equals to root of dx by dt plus dy by dt plus dz by dt.
squares of that.
Yes, ma'am. Square.
Okay. So you get root of
9.
9, which is 3.
Hmm.
Okay. After that, when you integrate it from T naught to T, what do you get? What is T naught here? Are you able to figure out? This is their reference point. So this corresponds to what value of T?
0.
0. When you put T as 0, you will get this particular point. Okay. So your T naught will be 0. So when you integrate 0 to T, 3, what do you get?
3t.
3t. Okay. So I'll just show you the solution part. There is one more part to the question which I'll read out later. Okay. So I'll first do the integration. So if you want, you can replace the parameter t with u for integration, and your t naught is in this case 0, so which you have seen because this point, reference point, is achieved when you put t equals to 0 in all the three components. So obviously for t equals to 0, you are getting this point. So your t naught will be 0. And you get this. Then you have to find norm of dr by du. So this is an in-between variable which we are using. Ultimately, we are going to do away with it. This is just a dummy variable, so there's no significance of taking it as u or something else. So it doesn't matter. So the derivatives you're going to find, and as you mentioned, it is root of 9, which is 3. So this is the relation between S and T. S is equal to 3T. So now if I have to replace throughout S or replace T in with S, how would it change? What would X become?
1 plus s by 3.
1 plus S by 3. So instead of T now, I want my parameter to be S. So what is the relation? Relation is S is equal to 3T. So my T will be S by 3. So what have I done basically here is I am taking the inverse. Okay, this function, I am taking the inverse of this function. And I will now replace this T by S throughout. So I will get 1 plus S by 3, then this will be 3 minus 2 S by 3 and so on. And that representation will be called the arc length parameterization of the line. Okay, so when I change my parameter from T to S, I get the arc length parameterization. So this is the parameterization using arc length. Okay, so is this clear to everyone? Anyone has any doubts in this? Just go through the solution part.
मैम एक बार और बता दो.
Which step is not clear?
मैम आफ्टर द मैम यू लेट करने के बाद.
Okay, so see, basically you have to remove this T and get S in terms of T. Okay, so for doing that, we will find the relation between S and T, and this is your formula. So what is the formula basically is that S is equal to integral from reference point to T. This T is any T in general, okay, to any point T. What do you have to integrate? You have to integrate the arc length. ओके तो ये आपका आर्क लेंथ है जिसे आप u के फॉर्म में भी रख सकते हैं या t के फॉर्म में भी रख सकते हैं. इट डजंट मैटर. इन दिस केस it is coming out to be a constant, so it doesn't matter at all. But in case it is a variable, again it is not going to make a difference. The only problem which you will face is कि t दो बार हो जाएगा. सपोज ये 3t आ जाता है तो यहाँ भी 3t होगा और फिर आप इंटीग्रेट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टी करेंगे और फिर आप लिमिट्स भी टी ही पुट करेंगे. सो टू अवॉइड दैट कंफ्यूजन देयर इज अ चेंज इन द डमी वेरिएबल व्हिच इज यूज्ड हियर. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ टी वी आर यूजिंग यू. इट इज कंप्लीटली योर चॉइस. You can put t dash और t1, कोई और वेरिएबल भी आप ले सकते हैं या v ले सकते हैं। v वैसे यूजुअली हम वेक्टर्स के लिए यूज करते हैं, तो आप u ले सकते हैं या कोई और वेरिएबल आप यहाँ पे ले सकते हैं टू रिप्लेस द variable t only for the integration purpose. No other reason is there. So in the original equation or the parametric representation, you replace t by u. ये direct replacement है. Okay, there is no different u. This u is the same as this t. Just replace t by u throughout. Find out the integration of arc length from 0 to t. और ये 0 कैसे आया? ये इसलिए आया क्योंकि जो हमारा रेफरेंस पॉइंट है, दिस कॉरेस्पॉन्ड्स टू t इक्वल्स टू 0. जब हम t को 0 डालते हैं तो हमें ये रेफरेंस पॉइंट मिलता है. So that is why I have taken 0 here. 2t integration of the arc length, this expression, norm expression. So जब हम इंटीग्रेट करेंगे we'll get 3u, और 3u को जब हम लिमिट्स पुट करेंगे 0 to t, then we'll get 3t. So from this we get t is equal to s by 3, and so you can write the parameterization like this, or the coordinates of any point can be written in terms of s like this. So now we don't have to know the value of t. If we get to know the value of s, then we can find the coordinates of the point on that line. Okay, and here there is another part of the question that we have to use this particular representation to find the coordinates of the point, that is 25 units from the reference point in the direction of increasing parameter. So that means in the increasing direction, your s is 25. Corresponding to that s, what will be the point? So just substitute s as 25. So these are your coordinates. X coordinate, this is the y coordinate. Okay. So if the point would have been 25 units in the other direction, then you would have put s is equal to minus 25, because your direction has been reversed, but it is in the direction of the increasing parameter, so that means your s is plus 25. So put s as 25 and replace this s by 25 and you get the coordinate. So your point is 28 by 3, 40 minus 41 by 3 and 62 by 3. These are the coordinates of the point on the line which is at a distance, or which has the arc length or distance between that point and the reference point along the line is 25 units. Okay, is it fine now? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this is a general equation of a straight line. So as we did in the previous question, we had a specific straight line. Here I am taking any general straight line where it is passing through this point R0 and is parallel to a given vector v. So you know this is the general equation of a straight line in the vector form, and you have to find the arc length parameterization. That means you have to replace this t by s. So there is some relation between s and t which you are going to find, and then you are going to take the inverse of that. So that will give you t in terms of s, and then you substitute whatever expression. Like in the previous question, your relation was s is equal to 3t. So that meant t is equal to s by 3. So using that formula, you are going to find a relation between t and s. Then this is what you are going to get. Then you take the inverse function. So t in terms of s is this, and then wherever you have this t, you replace it by this particular expression. Okay, so same thing we are going to do here. So first step will be throughout you replace t by u. So replace t by u and taking T naught is equal to 0. So we are starting with 0. Now this is our choice because no reference point as such is mentioned. Okay, it is mentioned as R naught. So here this R naught basically means it is R at 0. Okay, or we can check what is the corresponding value. So suppose we have it at T naught equals to 0, then your R will be in terms of U now, R naught plus UV. So instead of T, we now take U, and then we integrate with, differentiate first with respect to U. So we get V. Then the relation is given by integration 0 to T. Now you have to take the norm here because we do not have the components explicitly given to us. We just have a general expression. So we will write it in terms of norm of dr by du, which is nothing but norm of V. Integrate with respect to U. So norm of V with respect to U will be norm V into U, the integration part. So I'll just write the in between step here. After integration, you will get norm U V into U integral from 0 to T. Now, when you put U as the upper limit T, you get norm V into T minus when you put U as 0, you will get 0. So this is the relation between S and T which you are going to get, and the relation is T is equal to S by norm V. Okay, so that is the inverse function. T is equal to S by norm V, and so in the arc length parameterization, we can write the equation of the line like this: R naught plus, instead of T, you will use the expression in terms of S by norm V, that will come here, and in the direction of V, so that V remains as usual. V would be here. Okay, so your T gets replaced by S by norm V. Okay, so this is the general format for a parametric representation of S of a straight line in terms of S. Okay, S divided by norm V. You are going to replace your T by S divided by norm V. And you did the same thing for the previous question also. Here, your T gets replaced by S divided by 3, where 3 is nothing but norm of this V vector, which we have seen in the next question also. V vector is nothing but dr by du norm of that. Okay, so the norm you are dividing, and S by that norm is going to give you the value of T. So this is for this particular case question, your norm is 3, and in general you will write it in terms of norm V like this. Okay, so for any straight line, this will be the parametric representation. So you are going to get the same line. Okay, do not think that you are going to get a different curve. Your curve or line, whatever it represents, vector value function, whatever it represents, is going to be the same. But you will have a different way of reaching every point. Now it will be in terms of S, where S is the arc length from a reference point to that particular point. Okay, instead of being the T, the earlier the parameter which we had used, instead of that we now use the new one, S. Okay, is this example clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So I think I'll give you a break of 15 minutes, and then I'll take another example based on this, and then we'll move to the next section. Okay.